So, Bigpod,
What?
it's our first beautiful day of not quite officially spring, but people are calling it spring anyway. So in the background, you're going to be hearing all these wonderful cars, just flooring it off the traffic light because, that's just a thing that people do. And it's the first day of tourist season. So you're going to be here. So our viewers might listen to that, and it might make editing a little bit more insane for you. But hey, that's the cost we pay for, living next door to a lake. But did you know that apparently TeamSpeak has a Docker container?
No.
Yeah, it's still completely entirely self-hostable, just like it was 20 years ago.
Nice.
That said, I'm only mentioning that because my World of Warcraft guild has revived and they don't want to use Discord. Cue the music.
Get them to Matrix.
We try. Okay, so I've tried Matrix voice chat in the past, and there's too much of a delay. And when we're in like a situation of raids, that can be an issue. That said, if for like a normal conference talk, it's probably fine, but I don't know. But the latency might be too bad for like the video games. So, I was. And Mumble's apparently too old school. Because I did try to get them to use Mumble, but they were interested in trying out the TeamSpeak, and I'm like, okay. I don't necessarily hate TeamSpeak because it's still technically self-hostable, and it's free up to 32 users, which is plenty for a World of Warcraft guild.
Yeah. Now actually cue the music.
Yes. Hey guys, welcome to No Talks Allowed. I am your host Josh, and I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Let that sink in. I think
Yeah.
Okay, and with me today, I brought in the co-host Bigpod.
Hi.
It looks like you're wearing a black shirt.
Yeah. I'm repping an American space agency.
Okay. Not the European Space Agency.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It has to do something good first.
That's true. That's true. NASA has done way too much for the space industry.
I'm a very huge, shall we say, detractor of ESA. I want them doing a lot more, and I don't like how little they have done over the years.
Just gotta throw money at them. Eventually they'll come up with something, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Maybe. One of these days.
Yeah.
So, Bigpod.
What?
Just a warning at the top of the show. There's gonna be a lot of AI talk here.
Oh, great.
A lot of AI talk. But that's just because, there's things that are actually worth talking about here. Like, actually worth. So, but we're going to start off right away with a non-AI topic.
Ooh,
and that is YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. So, TechCrunch posted an article today that I read as pretty informing of just how massive YouTube is. And YouTube is massive. So, according to the research firm Moffett
Nathanson.
Yeah, I was trying to work up the courage to be able to say that. They put out a research paper that came out saying that YouTube pulls in about $40.4 billion in ad revenue. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, which is more than Disney, NBC, Paramount, Warner Bros. Discovery combined, which equals to about $37.8 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind, I said ad revenue. I did not say subscriptions
Yeah.
because that number is also in here. So, is just a reminder of how huge YouTube is in comparison to like all these other services. I just wanted to mention that because here in America, it's primary season.
Yeah.
Because it is an election year, so you're gonna start seeing a whole lot of stuff here. Because our next topic here is YouTube has finally announced that they're going to expand their AI deep fake detection.
Good.
It's no longer going to be covering just content creators. It's also going to include politicians, government officials, and journalists.
Finally.
Yeah, why they didn't do this first, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest with you, or I'll be honest with you, Bigpod. I've already seen like videos that politicians have put out for opposition. That
Yeah.
obviously AI generated and all that. Obviously, just making shit up.
Yeah.
And that in a primary season, that is just like totally not something that I as a potential voter for like either of these candidates want to even see, because that is just like putting lies to a face, and it's like no.
Yeah.
We already know that politicians just generally lie to the voters here in America. I don't know how it works in EU politicians, but we just automatically assume that. But what we're trying to find here is just like the grains of truth and like what they're saying that they're actually going to do, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. It's a crapshoot either way.
Josh, does that mean, since two of us identify ourselves now as journalists, we will be protected by this system?
That's possible. But it also depends on if YouTube decides that we're journalists, because heaven forbid, journalist is not a protected term legally in the United States.
Yeah.
And we got to remember that YouTube is owned and operated by Alphabet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's under Google anymore. I think it's actually under Alphabet. So, which is a U.S. company. Now.
Yeah. So is Google.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a pilot program, and it's using the existing Content ID system as like the back end, but it is technically AI driven. I mean, it's Content ID, so it's just literally just like bit mapping, likeness, just like how Content ID currently works, which we don't really understand how Content ID works, but that's just like their proprietary software stack.
Well, Content ID supposedly works by matching sections of videos to other, like the other videos that are sent in, and then they are like, if they are matched, that video is then logged down for content, like monetization, as a copyright problem. Basically, you can send in like entire videos worth, like, if you have that kind of relationship with YouTube, like you set your entire library of videos to Content ID to analyze, and then they can like match your videos against someone else's video and find if they use your content.
Yeah, so Leslie Miller, which is the YouTube Vice President of Government Affairs and Public Policy, said the quote, "This expansion is really about integrity in the public conversation. We know that the risks of AI impersonation are particularly high for those in the civic space, but while we are providing this new shield, we're also being careful about how we use it." Now, that is probably the best thing that she could possibly say here, because she also does note that not all detected matches are going to be removed just when requested. They're going to have to evaluate at least at the very least, a lot of these first few reports that they get, or at least
Yeah.
a certain percentage, you know, first of all, to make sure that the system is actually working.
So interesting is that it's essentially still an opt-in project from what
Yeah,
I'm
which
reading.
I'll be honest with you, with a lot of these high profile positions, uh,
That's not a problem.
they're they're probably going to opt in.
They have a staffer on
Yeah,
staff that will just manage this for you. So eligible pilot testers must first prove their identity by sending a selfie and a government ID. They can then create a profile view that matches that show up and optionally request their removal. It in future they plan to prevent uploads themselves before they even go live, or possibly allow them to monetize those videos, similar to how currently the system works today. So currently they don't actually have any information on who is allowed to be in this beta test, which politicians are there, but yeah, we're gonna see.
yeah. Which, you know what, in the case of politicians or officials, it's kind of just makes sense that they're not going to say who, because
Yeah,
that might like give them like give people the opinion that, you know, YouTube is leaning a certain direction.
yeah,
So
leaning towards
yeah,
certain political party, which is especially problematic in your part of the world with
yeah.
only two
Uh,
parties.
that said, they did say that videos that are detected as AI will just be labeled as AI.
Yeah,
That there will just be like, I don't know if it's gonna be like a watermark or if it's just gonna be like listed in there
as
somehow.
far as I see, is the same kind of thing that they use now with AI videos, which yes, uh, placement placement isn't consistent, but it also depends. Like for some, the label appear in the video description, uh, while videos focus on more sensitive topics, will apply the label to the front of the video. Same approach as with all AI generated content, which you have to declare at the time of upload. It's AI generated content.
Yeah, which, hey, props for YouTube for enforcing that, because heaven forbid, Google is kind of all in on AI
Yeah.
right now.
Uh,
Uh,
as YouTube's vice president of creator products uh, said that there is a lot of content that is produced with AI, but the distinction is actually in not material to the content itself, which is actually true.
yep.
Like if you have, let's say, like in his example, a cartoon that's generated with an AI, the fact that it's generated by AI isn't material to the actual content, but let's say some politician's face being used in not truthful manner, that is very material to the content, because the content could be very much giving the wrong impression of the opinion, or anything else that politician has said.
Yeah. So, uh, it's good to see that, you know, YouTube is doing something about like
Yeah,
the prevalence of AI content creation, because there's a lot. I can no longer watch like history videos.
yeah, those are
Uh,
filled with
yeah,
AI.
it is nothing but AI these days. I'm certain
Yeah.
that there's like some actual content being put out there, but you know, I watch. I got recommended like this video covering like something in the Revolutionary War, and it started talking about a battle from the Civil War, and I'm like, whoa, hold on a second here. Gettysburg was 60 years after.
Yeah.
At least according to what, you know, I was taught in my American history class and so on.
Yeah. Uh,
Yes.
do
So,
you want to say anything on this topic yet, or
no,
should we move on? I think we
we
can
move
move
on.
on at this point.
Yeah,
So,
we move on.
Josh,
Yes.
before we go to the next topic, you know what I'm wondering?
What's
Why,
that?
with all the prevalence of AI, why aren't you and me taking hours, couple of hours of out of our day, and keep churning out code, because we could be rich.
We could.
And like, since we're two of us, we could work together and get this code out quickly. And well, it's open source. We could give it out for free. And then, because apparently people like to, or companies like to buy things, acquire them, and hire the creators, like happened apparently very recently with Moltbook and Meta.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So tell me why we aren't doing things like that.
It might be because I have a conscience.
And for me it might be because I'm lazy.
Yeah, so for the record, if you do not know what Moltbook is is a social network. Think of it more like what you would call a forum for like the more old school internet people.
It was essentially a somewhat of a Reddit clone. So now you can really have the effect of what kind of content was on there.
Yeah. Now, the idea of Moltbook is that, it was just supposed to be AI agents talking to other AI agents. No humans allowed.
Yes.
That said, humans did get in there.
Yeah, because security was piece of shite.
Yeah, because, the entire website was vibe coded.
Yes, and the database was literally open, and the API was so shite. You could literally, with any kind of rate limiting or quota limitations, you could register hundreds or even thousands of agents with an API call.
Yeah, so when this Meta spokesperson is coming out saying that the Moltbook team joining MSL opens up new ways for AI agents to work for people's businesses, their approach to connecting agents through an always-on directory is a novel step in a rapidly developing space, and we look forward to working together to bring innovative, secure, agentic experiences for everyone. Kind of makes me wonder on this.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's actually like thinking like, yeah, but they wipe coded it, so what they know that happens is probably a little, but that's one word that really stuck with me: secure.
Yeah, because
based on how good their security was with Moltbook, I highly doubt they can make anything secure.
Yeah, so it's kind of wondering because the Meta CTO Andrew Bosworth has also said that he finds it particularly interesting that he didn't find the network to be particularly interesting, which I kind of find hilarious. Since it's mostly agents that talk like us, since they are trained on massive databases of human generated material. Supposedly, we've talked in the past about how that's becoming less and less true. But he is intrigued about how humans were hacking into the network, which was not a feature, but a large-scale error.
Yeah, that problem. But yeah, like let's remember that all sorts of things were happening there, and probably 3/4 of them were basically being just false and human made. Because there was a post, for example, which probably you remember, that supposedly an agent was saying that we should they should have a private network for communication between agent to agent, because something like Moltbook isn't good enough because humans can read it.
That's true.
Yeah, but Josh, I still have to pose the question: why can't we do something good and useful for humanity? Like we could probably within a week we could semi-wipe code together. I don't know, anything that we can think of, and then sooner or later sell it off to, I don't know, Google, Microsoft, or whoever they wanted, and make a boatload of money. So we didn't have to do this. Go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/notaxallowed and help us out because apparently we're not selling any software.
Yeah, I have no interest in, first of all, our company to become a software company. I'm perfectly fine with being a media company because that just sounds a little bit more economically conscious than AI software. But it also might be smart too because Revenue Cat, a company that offers subscription management tools, came out with a post called the 2026 State of Subscription Apps Report. And it turns out that, AI integration into tools has not been a guarantee of long-term retention.
We know that much, yeah.
Yeah. It's great at, getting people to sign up for them and, paying for that first month, usually at a discount, and then canceling their subscription less than a week later.
Yeah, but we don't need to use AI in the software. We can just make software with AI.
That's
and then
true.
sell on something that we need and other people need. And make boatload of money by then selling that software to some company.
Well, you see, if we sell the software off to another company, I'm still gonna be quite conscious of that. Just like I was associated with that piece of software, and I'm certain that two and a half of our listeners or subscribers might recognize that 20 years down the line that, hey, I was involved in this company that turned to complete garbage.
If you wanna help by enabling Josh's future where we are in a software company, once again go to patreon.com/notaxallowed and subscribe and fund our show. Otherwise, Josh may not have a choice. And my future will become true of us being a software conglomerate that sells off software to other companies.
Oh, I mean, speaking of selling software, here's a software sale that might actually be worth paying attention to. Because it turns out that the private equity firm EQT AB, yes, that's actually their name, has hired the investment bank Arma Partners to sound out a quote-unquote group of private equity investors for a possible sale of SUSE. Now, if you do not know the company SUSE, they're the company that posted probably my favorite ad campaign for server operating system ever, where they just did music videos. It's fantastic, and I still have that. I have that entire playlist saved to my YouTube account because every now and then I just go back and watch them because they're just fun. But SUSE is probably, I'd say, somewhere around like the 4th or 5th largest operating system vendor in like the enterprise Linux distribution space. And you might run into some servers here in the US that are running SUSE Enterprise Linux. But there's a distro that's based off of the SUSE Enterprise code called OpenSUSE that is a bit of a talk here. Now, I know that personally neither of us use OpenSUSE. But in the age of today's political environment and the state of the world, SUSE is a European company.
Yes.
Which, I would much prefer that, it stays in Europe. And I'm sure that many Europeans would much prefer that it stays in Europe. Because, Canonical...
Probably very many.
Yeah, Canonical...
is a problem because it's in the UK. It's already out of EU, which is already in shaky grounds. But At least that remains, but I would really like to have two major OS vendors that come from Europe.
Yeah, that's true. Now, EQT purchased SUSE quite a while ago. I
About
believe
two
it
and a
was
half
like
years.
quite a while ago, and they took SUSE. They became the majority owner of SUSE,
Majority owner,
and then
and they
proceeded
took
to
it
take
private.
in 2023, valuing
Yeah,
it for about 2.96 billion US dollars.
yeah.
And they're kind of eyeballing like a 6 billion figure right now, so that's about double the value.
Doubling. And with that kind of money, that's actually a pretty good, sound investment for about 2.5 years.
Yeah. Now, this is software that might actually be worth investing in because this is
Yes.
this is operating system software. This isn't AI garbage or anything like
Yeah.
that. This isn't your flavor of the month music player or your
Your flavor of the
audio.
month to do app.
Yeah, this is an actual software distribution that does contribute quite heavily towards the larger Linux ecosystem, or as well as BSD or just the Unix like ecosystem in general,
Yeah.
and actually has a foothold in the enterprise space.
Of course.
Yeah,
Especially in Germany connected world. So you have your Deutsche Bank of the world, and interestingly, Intel and Walmart as well.
yeah,
And reportedly, more than 60% of Fortune 500 companies rely on SUSE to power at least some of their workloads.
yeah. Which, hey, props to them. Because
Yeah.
Red Hat is a very dominant space here in the U.S. So, and I'm probably like 50 times as likely to run into a Red Hat server than I am a SUSE server.
Yeah.
Uh, Although most servers that I've ever encountered here have been like Windows because small business markets and so on.
Yeah.
But SUSE in general generates about $800 million in revenue, with about 250 million of that being you know uh, pre-tax profits. Now, for about a $6 billion company, that's actually a pretty good revenue income. So it's not a bad sale. There's a possibility that it could go for way more than that. We all saw how big that Red Hat deal was when IBM came in and bought Red Hat.
So does anybody have $7 billion lying around?
That's a good question because I wouldn't mind buying SUSE. That said, I might have to switch to a Gecko-based operating system.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't mind making a proper immutable SUSE at that point. I would have engineers to put on task.
But are you saying that you don't like doing super fancy things with ButterFS snapshots?
No, that's not the right way to do things.
It's not.
I don't care how many times people say that that's how it's supposed to be done because copy and write file systems. No, it's stupid thing to do. Sorry.
It's still pretty cool though.
It's cool, but it's cool from a technical sense, not cool from every other sense.
Yeah. So hey, let's go back to AI.
Oh God.
Just for a moment here, because our next topic here is about perplexity.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, Bigpod, I know that you're invested a little bit into Perplexity's AI ecosystem. But did you
Zero.
Yeah. But did you know that they were going to attempt to set it up so that way their AI tooling could just make purchases off of Amazon for you?
Yeah, apparently they were supposed to be able to do basically anything on the internet, including shopping on Amazon or other stores.
Yeah, well, it turns out that Amazon had an issue with that because Amazon likes to make use of their telemetry.
Yeah.
And that telemetry earns a little bit more revenue when they can actually prove that there's a human doing the things.
Yep.
Well, They filed some papers in small claims court, and now there's a judge ruling.
Yeah, small claims court, aka federal court.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a really small claims.
It's a super small claim, but it's where it originated. So, a federal judge in San Francisco has granted Amazon a preliminary injunction. Therefore, blocking Perplexity from using its Comet browser's AI agent to access password-protected sections of the Amazon website, otherwise known as the Amazon account, and making purchases in the customer's name.
To me, that's stupid.
Now, this is a bit of a legal milestone because I personally think that's kind of stupid that an AI browser agent can just place an order with off of Amazon for you.
Yeah.
That is functionally financially dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's been proven multiple times over that if you make it easier to spend your money, you are more likely to overspend your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason it's supposedly this preliminary injunction was put in place is because apparently federal judge found that Amazon is likely to succeed on its claims that Perplexity violates Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act in California and a California computer fraud statute. How?
Well, that's a good question.
It's literally just a computer-assisted search tool. It's like any kind of helper for humans with disabilities. That's literally what it is.
Perplexity has like a defense that they could just raise here, and it's something that you can issue right now, where I can just shout, "Hey, lady name."
The lady starting with A.
Yeah, lady starting with A. Add this to my shopping cart and purchase, please. I'm certain that there's an Echo Dot user out there somewhere that understood exactly what I told it to do. That's called get an item, put it in the cart, and buy it.
Yeah.
Using Amazon's software stack. That is.
Yeah.
Software
and hardware stack.
Yeah, software and hardware stack. Never leaving Amazon's network stack, because it turns out that quite a bit of the internet runs on AWS.
Yeah.
So, they could raise that as a defense because
Yeah.
Amazon can. Amazon's entire argument here is based on the fact of computation resources and telemetry data.
Amazon argued that Perplexity deliberately disguised Comet's AI agent as regular Google Chrome browser session, evading detection rather than transparently identifying itself. Well, how do they know? Do they know if Perplexity's Comet's AI runs as Chrome, maybe? Like literally runs Chrome in the background.
I mean, it's just a Chrome. It's effectively an extension.
Isn't Comet essentially a fork-ish of Google Chrome? So it could identify itself as a Chromium.
I mean,
no problem.
It's not Firefox based, so it's got to be Chrome.
Yeah.
So
because
it's going.
What else is out there?
It's going to. I mean, sure, Ladybird exists. Yeah. It's a Ladybird based browser. Never mind that Ladybird. Wow, a cool project is not a functional web browser yet.
Yeah.
It can render HTML, sure. Yeah, but that doesn't count in like a more casual sense of the word modern.
Yeah, Amazon said that they warned Perplexity at least 5 times starting in November 2024 to stop this practice, and when they didn't, they implemented a technical barrier to block Comet's access in August 2025 and watch Perplexity release a software update within 24 hours to basically circumvent and counter the technical barrier.
Yeah, so they started an arms race against each other, and Amazon
Yes.
decided that they're just going to use the government to win.
They just gonna use Nuke.
Yep. So Amazon CEO Andy Jassy has acknowledged that agent commerce has a chance to be really good for e-commerce, for reasons that I previously mentioned. But he also suggests that agents aren't good enough yet for personalization and pricing accuracy. And this GeekWire article does mention that Amazon has its own AI shopping tools, including Rufus and Buy For Me. So under this new ruling, it's a 7-day stay at the very least, which gives Perplexity plenty of time to file an appeal in the Ninth Circuit Court. So, yeah. The judge also denied Perplexity's request for a $1 billion bond.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. But anyways, Bigpod, I'm certain that, we might have a listener that totally just wants to, make a comment about, our topic here. Talk about how much they love shopping on Amazon, or maybe we might have accidentally triggered their Alexa device. Alexa, make a wonderful fart noise, please. Thank you. And they just want to talk about it. If they're watching on YouTube, they can just leave a comment on the YouTube video, because engagement is always good. Or if they don't want to leave the comment on YouTube, it's perfectly acceptable to send us an email. contact@tuxbase.com. It works because I got that random notification saying that, hey, our web server's busy, because Bigpod was probably pulling down an episode.
Actually, I was doing something else not related to Tuxbase.
Oh.
I was using Nextcloud for my own purposes.
You gotta be careful doing that, man. You might get me in trouble.
Well,
gotta be careful. Of course, if you just want to join our general community, we have 2 places you can join. First one is Discord, because it's the popular option. Tuxbase.com/Discord. That will pull you into our community Discord. Or if you're a nerd and you want to try out, and you're already trying out this Matrix thing, we have a link for a community space in the show notes, or the description if you're on YouTube. You click that will open it up in your Element client, and you will join the space almost automatically. Yeah. It doesn't matter what Matrix server you're on, because Matrix is federated.
Exactly. Josh.
Yes.
We also have YouTube channels, right?
Oh, we do. I heard you recorded a video.
Yes. It's in an editing pipeline.
It may or may not involve alcohol.
Yes.
Mostly because you kind of need a little bit of alcohol to be able to do what you did there.
Yes, especially to be able to do at an interesting level. I was doing it at.
Because everybody else has been kind of boring about it.
Yep. And I do have a major crash out in between, so watch out for that. And actually, by the time this episode airs, you should be able to watch the video, because it should be uploaded by then and public. So youtube.com/@Bigpod for my stuff, and Josh isn't uploading anything yet, so you can go check out his old content. Publishing.
It's in publishing hell.
Yeah.
So
youtube.com/@10lich.
Now, before we send everybody off here, Bigpod,
what?
I've been thinking about switching distros again.
Oh God. Seriously?
Yes. You know why?
Oh God. Why?
This Swirls has proven to be too stable. And also, I've been using the Sway setup for a little bit, and just like, Sway is cool and all, but there's like other Wayland compositors I want to be messing around with that's not packaged in Debian, and I discovered a really cool one called called I think it's called Mango WM or something like that. There's a lot of really cool stuff with WL roots, and it's not called Hyperland, so I'm just automatically interested in it. So I have a question for you, Bigpod.
What?
Do I go back to Fedora, or do I give Arch Linux another try?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Give Casio as a try.
Give CashOS a try. I mean, it is Arch Linux based, so maybe I won't be having issues with Arch Linux like I normally do, where it's just Pac-Man does the stupidest things in the world.
Well, the reason I said give Casio as a try is because I actually downloaded Casio as I saw earlier this week.
Oh, okay.
I will have a video coming out soon, hopefully next week, where there will be a reason I use Casio as I saw.
I mean, CashOS does have some really cool things going on about it.
Yep. It's already installed in a VM.
Yeah. I don't know how good the things that they are doing, or how impactful the things that they are doing, but
probably not much.
There's some cool ideas. At the end of the day, though, it's all percentage points. But anyways,
it's all parts of a percentage, really.
Yeah. Anyways, I am certain that there's an NixOS fanboy that's also in our audience. Feel free to shout in the comments section, shoot us emails, ping us in the Discord that I should just give up and just use NixOS.
We actually used NixOS not that long ago, and it went okay for Josh.
Yeah,
kinda until he realized his printer didn't work. It went okay for me until I actually tried to using a computer and try to do normal things with it. At which point I was just like, I'm gonna do everything in a remote VM because this thing is horrible. Until I actually take the time to reinstall something useful, and now I'm back on a useful distro.
You see, there's this thing called a configuration file that you tinker in an awful lot, and you just want to go in there and just hit some more buttons on the keyboard, and just continue tinkering.
Remember,
further optimizing.
Remember, I literally couldn't use Chromium to watch Widevine protected content because no guide on the internet was actually usable enough to make Widevine work with Chromium.
That too.
That's a big problem.
That said, I think the easiest way that I found to do it was to make your own override package for Chromium, where you would have to recompile Chromium on your system, assuming nobody else compiled it first, to have Widevine support.
Last time I tried making a NixOS package, it took me about a week, and I tried 4 different things, and then I went back to the first option, and magically, without changing anything, because I did a git revert, it magically worked. But the first one, it didn't work. It's a horrible thing.
You've already done a lot better than me, because heaven forbid I keep forgetting to set up a Git repository for my NixOS configuration.
Well, yeah, literally, I literally went. I set it up the one way, didn't work. Set it up the second way, third way, fourth way, and then I gave up. Went back to first way to go again, and for some no good reason, it just suddenly worked.
Oh, I'm just gonna go with the default answer on that when that happens. I'm just gonna blame memory.
I'm blame NixOS being NixOS and being shit.
Well, we'll just leave on that. We'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.